An organization, let's say a trust in this case, in order that with an organization which is not privately driven, but which has a purpose and which is in this way recognized by the state, go into ownership of the land, perhaps also the buildings, and then on this build on the activities. So this question of access to land and how this can be shaped, this has already been the theme today. I will not touch too much anymore, but there are other questions when we work biodynamically, and specifically also how can we organize ourselves in a way that from what we do, what we work, we have also a decent income. We have the huge investment first to purchase land and to build up the basic infrastructure, but once we have this, we can work heavily throughout days and nights, and perhaps having nothing in the pockets at the end. And I will try perhaps to go a little bit more in this theme after I did quite an introduction. And at the end, as I told now today, that in Laubier, the place I have been co-responsible for, I shaped with, I have been co-entrepreneur, I have some slides. This is the dessert for the end. That's what I told, and seems it has been well received, that we can have some pictures of it. Yeah? But first we will work a little bit. So, yesterday I started with the historical situation of the agricultural course, and this is this red book, which I already showed yesterday. You have it there, and this is the place, this Koberwitz place, this small castle, and we have Rudolf Steiner, and we have Graf Kaiserling, Count Kaiserling. He has been the host of the course. So these two men together, one can say, they are to a certain degree, let's say, the founder of our impulse, of our biodynamic impulse. Of course, from the contents, it's Rudolf Steiner, but that this event took place has been very, very much also enabled by Count Kaiserling. And you know, if something new has to come, in reality, it's always co-work. It's always out of partnership. And today, I will not so much relate to this past 100 years ago, but even we are in the 100 years celebration situation, more relate to a kind of situation of today. There has been an assessment about 12 years ago. It has been organized by the World Bank and by United Nations organizations with the question, where are we currently in the agriculture and food sector? What are the needs for the agriculture and food industry until 2050? What are the paths in the future? And you see some diagrams, there will be more people and so on. Huh? And this has been an assessment by scientists, from all around the world, 400 scientists, as we know it from the climate panels. It's a new way to work together and to bring, let's say, scientific knowledge to a kind of platform and then to take pictures out of this. And when this has been published in 2010, the name has been given Agriculture at the Crossroads. So we have to decide whether to go left or right. And there has been some of the key questions and the key findings, and I take now some of them. So it's a kind of status quo of where we are now, not 100 years back. Where are we now with our agriculture and food sector? And we have to take decision, and one is agriculture can be either industrial or organic, as a kind of, and then you see it can be different in industrial, it can be diverse in organic, but these are two different ways to go. And you see the ones I have chosen, they relate to what we do since 100 years as biodynamics. Organic, we are a specific, let's say, stream in organics. Second, regional food sovereignty or global agricultural markets. We operate, and you know it very well, from here, from Australia, with global agricultural markets. And what would be, let's say, the way to be with the goals in 2050 that we can feed all people and don't destroy our planet would be that we have regional food systems. The next key finding is that we can have either monocultural agrobusiness, or we can have what is called a multifunctional agriculture, which is multifunctional in itself, but also multifunctional in a way that it incorporates other activities and services we have in our society. So that the rural space is not only, let's say, cropped, but it's also a living space. And you see here, for example, this is Singapore, and we have here someone which is an anthroposoph who had the possibility to shape there with this river a landscape for these millions of people living there and bringing in this way a kind of biodynamic impulse and qualities even in this city-state of Singapore. The next one is either we have experience-based knowledge, as we have shared today and yesterday, or we have expert knowledge and patented technology. These are also two ways. Do we give where we go to the knowledge of experts, or do we say no, it's up to all of us to share our experiences in a way that this is the base how we construct our future, and non-profit plant breeding or genetic engineering patterns on life. And you see this crossroad, in a certain way, we go with our civilization still in the direction of technocratical solutions, and we, as biodynamic movement, we are kind of pioneers for the other path, but not the only ones. And it has been assessed by these many hundreds of scientists that the ecological or organic way, with a multifunctional agriculture, with regional food systems, based on knowledge which is gained on the ground, and with, for example, this the non-profit plant breeding, this is the way assessed by these scientists which can lead us to a situation until 2050 which fits with what is needed. This is the real answer of the challenges of our days, and going further on with technocratical solutions, it's going somehow in an abyss, I would say, and we know. So we see that after 100 years, what came about by this assessment is expressed, in other words, the same as Steiner told already 100 years before. For me, it's great. It was a gift to have this report. I like it. It's in another language, and it's not with the preparations, and it's not with the stars, but it's largely taking in what is the content of our agricultural course. So we are not out of time, we are not old-fashioned. We are still, but it depends on us. We can be, let's say, enabler of a future, a modern future, and in this way, this global report on agriculture is a kind of confirmation for what we do. But it's up to us to be open-minded, to learn other languages, to engage with other streams of organic and breeders and so on, and to create a common future for our planet. This has been the first introduction, and it's a little bit complementary to what I said yesterday. I have been more in a historical view, and now it's the nowadays view. Another thing I would like to show you is the question, can we say also now scientifically spoken that biodynamic works? We can love it. And when one loves it, loves something, one is not so objective. Yeah? Okay? So for us it's best biodynamic, but of course we love it. And the question has been 45 years ago in Switzerland, in the parliament, someone raised his hand and said, but when we do an agricultural policy for Switzerland, we have to know which one of the systems is the best, and we have three. We have dynamic, we have organic, and we have conventional. And then they set up this trial, long-term trial, with dynamic plots, organic plots, and conventional plots. And it has been farmed according to what is, let's say, how we do it in Switzerland, and it has been made scientifically comparable in the way that the nitrogen level of the three types of systems which are compared is on the same level. Okay? And then it started, and you can see here, this is the system, how these plots have been made. You have the first rotation and how it shows in reality. And this runs now for 45 years. So for me it's a kind of world heritage because, it's unique. And the first real, let's say, results have been found after 14 years, so not so quickly, which has really been confirmed. And then after 21 years, meaning after 3 times a rotation period of 7 years, quite anthroposophic, yes. I mean, the anthroposophs, the biodynamic people of Switzerland has been very active to set this up. But, so, this is a first overview of the results. You have the three columns, D meaning dynamic, O organic, K conventional. Is this clear? Okay. And you see there we have the yield, for example, and you have here the colors, and you see that the yield in the dynamic and the organic is about 80% of the conventional with all fertilizers in. So quite good. Yeah? It's not half. It's not a quarter. It's 80%. And it remains on this level. It don't go down. So this is first very important information. And then when it goes here to the qualitative aspects of what it is, soil structure, ground beetle activity, mycorrhiza, species diversity and so on, you see it's the dynamic version which is 100%, and it's the conventional one who is in this way weak. Huh? So we see that with a regime which renounces completely on fertilizer and chemicals, we have a 80% yield and a much higher soil fertility. And this is measured in scientific way. This is not our dreams. We can express this in another way, that we see with much less energy we have a yield which is not so much less. It means that each kilojoule of energy which is put into the system is much more efficient in the dynamic plots, also in the organic ones, than in the conventional ones. So energy efficiency is high. Then we see here in which degree the microbial biomass is high. It's always, the green one is dynamic, compared with also the organic one, compared with the conventional one, and this is another thing without any fertilizing. And here you see, yeah, it's huge, the difference. Huh? So even in this very abstract design of a trial with the different plots, it works. And now here are the results from the report after 42 years. You see, done in 2020. Yeah, started in 1978, and you have always the 7 years period for the rotation. And you see it's about soil carbon content. And you see the points, and the green ones, they go up. And this is us. It works. And the others, they are flat, or they go down. You have to do a good management. You have to do a proper work, of course. It's not just happening by nothing. It's by doing really good farming. But we can see in which degree we can improve the content of carbon, meaning humus, in the soil. And here is about climate impact. So it's storage of CO2 equivalents by creating humus. You see, this is again the green one. Then we have NO2 emission, which is 300 times more active for climate problematic than CO2, and we have much less in our parcel compared to the conventional one. Okay? And then when we, and this is methane emission, not so much difference, and we see that at the end we have when we have an emission of 100% with the conventional plots, we are at 28% with the dynamic one. So we are a solution for climate issues. We have to work properly, but we can show this. These are international published figures. I mean, they have been in Nature and so on. This is pure scientific language, and this is a language nowadays one has to speak when one comes to universities like this one, and we can speak this language. And you can also see, this is after a heavy rain, two of these plots, just one beside the other one, and you see in which degree on the biodynamic plot the structure of the soil can resist to this heavy rain, and in which degree the structure of the soil is gone in the conventional one. It's the same second, the picture. And these heavy rains, you have them more and more. So you can have the figures and the statistics, but you can also see it with your eyes. Okay, this is just an extract of this DOC trial, which is in a certain degree. There are others, but it's the most, let's say, from all this scientific data we created in the 100 years, it's perhaps the most valuable one, the most complete one, because it runs for so long time. Okay, and now I go to a next chapter, and in order that I have a base then to speak about economical questions, I would like to just recreate our picture of what it is biodynamic farming. And yeah, I elaborated once the 7 principles, so they are from me, they are not from Steiner. And with this, I try to show what are the principles of biodynamics. And you see there a kind of design. So I came with principle 1, 2, 3 to a crossing point 4. So it means something is taken in and comes from the outside and creates a kind of center. And from there on, then it goes from a biodynamic place in the world. So the first of the principle is the soil, the respiratory organ of the living earth. And yeah, this is key to biodynamics, that the soil is not seen just as a mechanical substrate where the roots can grow in order that the plants keep upright. It's a sphere where the two spaces from the sun with the light, the air and the warmth, and the one from the deepness of the earth with the compact soil and the moisture, they encounter in a way, and then we have to breathe things throughout the rhythms of the day, of the seasons, of the years, in a way that we have a living organ, and it's compared with the diaphragm of our body. The second is the relation between the earth and the cosmos realized in the plants. You see, the first one has been horizontal, and now it's the verticality. And the plants, they indicate each one of them this verticality. And they grow from the ground towards the sun at the end. When you go in your thinking to the end of what, for example, also these big trees, it's just from New Zealand, they head towards the sun, and we have seen the dandelions today. They even turn with their flowers with the sun. And with the roots, the plants, they head all to the center of the earth. The roots here from Australia, when you go, I mean not physically, but when you go the line further on, where they go for or where they come from, you go to the center of the earth, and the same, and the roots from Switzerland come from the other side. There they encounter. They encounter in the sun, and they encounter in the center of the earth. And in this way, these plants, it's a radiation. And all around, one has to take this really in the sphere. And now comes another very astonishing and, let's say, basic view for us as biodynamic people, that the root is the head compared with us. They are upside down. And they are living with their limbs and with their metabolism in the green part, in the flowers, and in with the fruits. And therefore we look to the constellations of the planets, because they are really living with this. It's part of them. They are not separated as we are. It's really a difference where the moon is and where Venus is and so on. Because this is what they live, one can say, in their physiology, in their metabolism. And with the roots, where we think they pump nutrients out of the soil, it's not the case. This is perception for them. And thinking. For plants, it's not the same as for us. But the result of what comes up as the mineral stream in the physiology of the plant is a result of perception and not of digestion. Next point, we introduce the animals. We have had the soil horizontal, we have had the plants vertical, and now the animals. And with the animals, we can close this circle and we create a farm organism. And this is possible because of that the animals, they have an inner life. They are not completely open to the cosmos as the plants. They have kind of cosmos in themselves. The heaven of the cow, or for the cow, is in herself. She has created a kind of inner reality which is in correspondence with the outer reality. Yeah? And when she eats, and she does nothing else than taking in fodder, and then he ruminates this, and she has 4 stomachs, not only one. It's huge what she does, and she can eat grass. Imagine you are on a pasture with this grass. She's happy, and you just can do nothing with it. So they are absolutely genius, and then they give us the milk and the meat, but specifically the tongue. We go like okay, and it undergoes this stream of substance, undergoes a complete transformation in the cow, then it undergoes a complete transformation in the compost. We have had it today, okay? It's composting means what has been the very last stage of what has become in a year is transformed completely in order to become a new humus with which I can start a new cycle of life. It's relating, let's say, what is declined life to what is become life. So, a new complete transformation, and then once again in the earth, in the soil, and so I close my circle. This is the farm organism from this point of view. This is a miracle. It's not, let's say, specific biodynamics, but we look it from a specific way. We rediscovered with the eyes of Rudolf Steiner the genius thing which is in there. And now this has been stage 3. Stage 1, soil, 2, plant, 3, animal, creating the farm organism. And now we came to this point, which is center, and it's for me the preparations. And look what has been this circle now. I designed it again here in the middle, and now it is not closed. Here is another aspect. It's the interpenetration of 2 parabolic spheres which are completely open, towards the cosmos with the sun, towards the deepness of the earth, the depth of the earth. But they are regained now after I closed my circle. I'm in a new dialogue. It's a new language we speak together. And this is what the human beings can, dialogue with the stars, if one remains to a verse of Rudolf Steiner. And with these preparations, this is how one can see it, I open up a new dialogue with the cosmos and the earth, and what the farm organism then is a farm individuality in becoming. We have the horn manure, most of us know about, one of the stir preparations where we bring in liquid forms on our fields. We have the horn silica preparation. I don't go into the details. Which we bring on our plants, on our crops. And we have the compost preparations with which we preparate our compost, our slurry, our manure, whatever we have as an organic substance which is then brought to the surface to enhance the soil fertility. And now I go to the next of this. This is the 4. And just to see, because we have been on this property today with the herbs. And herbs, they are used for the preparation. And herbs are not food. So in order to create the very best conditions for the very best food, we go a little bit out in nature and take in from the borders of our fields. because in Europe all these herbs we take for the preparations, we can find them around. We don't have to cultivate them in beds. And we go a little bit into the not so strongly cultivated nature which is around our fields and our gardens, and take them some gifts, I would say, and bring them in this cultivation process. What are the effects of when we create the organism and then even the farm individuality? I would say we can, and we have seen it, then help that in the surrounding, meaning in the ecological surrounding, we have healthy climate, the air. We can have pure waters. We can help that we have less erosion of biodiversity, which is a huge problem either. Huh? So we create with a place which is treated biodynamically what is called eco-service. We are eco-service providers because we give something to the wholeness which we don't sell. It's not the crop, but the ecological surrounding is enlivened, is helped, is in this way also with new health forces. And I guess that these ecosystem services, they will be paid in the future. We will earn money with this. It's already the case in Switzerland. In Switzerland we have too much money, you know, they give even to the farmers. But we have to do something for it. And we have programs, eco-programs, and when I apply to them, I receive money from the state. And the eco-program goes in this direction. That, for example, my cut of a meadow is not before a certain date, in order that the insects and the birds, they can live there and so on. And this will become general because it's not possible otherwise that the farmers, they became a bit reasonable. One has to give them money, then it works. And these ecosystem services, I guess it's something meaningful. It has its shadow sides, of course, but we are as farmers, and now we are looking more also on bigger farm operations, we are the ones who have the soils and the air and the water and the biodiversity in our hands. And when the overall society says, hey, I need a certain quality there, can you provide this and you're paid for, I think it's not wrong.
Can you please translate those?
Yeah, sorry, this is in German. It's not so important, I just said it. Huh? This is the plant life with the woods, the forests. This is the wildlife with insects and birds, which can be enhanced. This is the life in the soil with water and climate, and this is, this is for us, for the humans, that we have landscapes which provide health for us. You know, it becomes more and more important. And health also in a mental sense, in a soul sense. When you can go in a live and diverse landscape, you can resource. Yeah?
Connection.
Yeah, yeah. and for the bees. Yeah. Yeah. And beauty, aesthetic. Very important. Next, what goes out from our farms is food. We are highly productive. And look, here we are on a farm, and the food goes out to these people who are in the cities. They are in a poor situation. They have just concrete around them. But they need food. And we have more than half of the population worldwide actually which lives in mega cities. And it goes on and on. Melbourne is growing. And less people are living in the countryside. And so on. And we will come back to this. And this food has a certain price, and it means the food goes out and the money comes back. We will look to this with this economical question. But first, what is the driver of us as food producer is the need of the people. Yeah. So we are in a social now reality, and with the seventh of these principles I'm now here, we see also, and this we have had in the excursion with the Raphael initiative, that on a biodynamic place we create first prototypes of threefold social entities, where we have solidarity or brotherhood as one of the ideals of the French Revolution, equality for our being together, and freedom for our cultural life. So this has been the 7 principles, and with this I would say we have created a base that we can now look how we can enter with this in a more economical dimension. Shall we make a break?